And now the Wembley crowd gets its first sight of the two teams for this 1972 League Cup final. On the right, Stoke City, and on the left, Chelsea. Dave Sexton, the manager. There's Mike Pidgick. And George Eastham, the man who must have thought his perhaps football career at the highest level was over when he went to South Africa. Mr. Len Shipman, the president of the Football League, coming out first. The teams, though, to be presented to Dr. Gustav Wiedeker, the president of UEFA, the European Football Union. He comes from Switzerland. Gordon Banks, who knows Wembley so very well. The turn of Stoke City with their captain Peter Doby, who played in a Wembley Cup final 12 years ago, 1960, for Blackburn Rovers against Wolves, and lost. He'll hope to do something better today. And now the national anthem. So the nervous tension will now begin to ease when the players can flex their muscles and begin their kick around. Certainly that's an environment they know better. Peter Osgood, who has never scored at Wembley, but could well be the man Stoke fear more than any other this afternoon. And George Eastham, I suppose any neutral in the stadium today, if there are any, must want something to happen for George Eastham this afternoon. Gordon Banks, the world's #1 goalkeeper, and not far behind him in English terms is Chelsea's Peter Bonetti. A piece of Wedgwood for Chelsea and a pennant for Stoke City. So Norman Burtonshaw from Great Yarmouth. 2 years ago he was left off the FIFA list, and he thought at a time that he might even retire from refereeing, but he fought his way back. He's back on the FIFA list and now back at Wembley twice in 12 months. Receipts here at Wembley, £132,000 for the day. 2.25 million people have watched the League Cup this season. And now here's the final, and Chelsea get us away. A rather long and a strange ball forward in the first seconds, giving Stoke City a goal kick, and Gordon Banks to take it. Alan Bloor, Garland chasing it, then leaving it for Hudson. A nice little shimmy by Alan Hudson for Chelsea. Mulligan, Osgood. Bloor tackling him hard, but Osgood still finding Hudson with it. Osgood, a lovely flick through there now for Hudson, looking to cross it low, and this time Dennis Smith, tall, tough defender for Stoke. And Pidgick, Smith to Eastham, his first touch. Greenoff. And Eastham couldn't shake off Hudson, and so it's Chelsea again. Garland nicely turned inside again for Hudson. Cook has gone racing on, but Cook is offside. They're nerve-wracking moments for players. They are for managers too. There's Tony Waddington. And on the right, the Chelsea set with Dave Sexton. Eastham now for Stoke. Doby, nice little flick there for Conroy. Getting in a shot, but Bonetti always with the body behind it. Garland getting above Alan Bloor. Dobie coolly wide there for Pejic. Dempsey and Houseman. But he couldn't keep it in, and it's Stoke City's throw. So John Hollins forever shouting on the field of play, and with a high-pitched voice is very often heard as well. Bernard, though, with the throw for Stoke. Greenough. Good ball by Greenough. What a good one to Eastham on the far side. Ritchie is poised in the middle, always the dark-haired target. But that time Harris getting in before him. Skipper on Harris, who at 21 skippered Chelsea here in 1967, the youngest cup final captain. Peter Dobing then with the throw for Stoke City. Smith is right up at the near post for Stoke. And Osgood had come back with him, and it was the fist of Bonetti. Turned in again, and now Greenough looking for it, and Conroy! Terry Conroy! A marvellous start by Stoke City, and it was Conroy's header that finally put it behind Bonetti, with the ball bobbing about there. Exactly the start that they wanted. With so many players inexperienced of what Wembley's all about, Stoke were worried and wanted a good start, and they've made a brilliant start with only 5 minutes gone. Well, that really is going to shake Chelsea up. They've got to shrug off those nagging doubts about their play after that cup defeat by Orient, and now, so early in the game, they are faced with a crisis. Eastham with Pejic now willing to run outside him. Ritchie. Garland, but running straight into Alan Bloor, but the whistle had gone. And nobody happier, although he doesn't look it in all honesty, Tony Waddington, and on the right of the picture the coach Alan Aycourt. Garland off, outnumbered. But can he shake off Bloor? Garland going on and pulled down. It must be a free kick for Chelsea. And the book is coming out. The book is coming out from Norman Burtonshaw. And it looks as though Bloor is going to get his name taken. So that's how it looks from behind Gordon Banks' goal. As Alan Bloor's name goes into the book. Make sure the spelling's right. And really, he did stop Garland, who was in great flight. The view of Banks. The wall's got to be back 10 yards. Hollins is a bit of an expert with this sort of free kick. And the four-men wall being forced back by Norman Burtonshaw to Hollins now, hitting one wide. Disappointed with himself, but and certainly Banks couldn't have had much of a sight of it. So Banks then with the goal kick for Stoke. Jimmy Greenough, who has such a fine understanding with Conroy, but now he's found Dobing and in turn out to Eastham. Pejic, Greenough again. Ritchie jumping and winning it on the ground in the end, with a chance to turn it back perhaps, but straight at Mulligan. Chelsea are not finding their men at all well at the moment. Bernard, and Stoke not there either. And now it's Hudson for Chelsea. Garland. Nice reverse ball there into the path of Hollins, and turn now for Osgood, looking to get it at the right sort of angle, and now Harris to follow it up, playing it sensibly there to Houseman. Harris wanting it back and getting it back. Hollins going through that challenge by Bernard and hitting one, but it's wide again. The Stoke defence just a little strung out there. And Banks with another goal kick for them. Greenough and Ritchie, the two Stoke players there. Dempsey for Chelsea on the right. Dempsey's header. Difficult to see what a defender can do other than that in those circumstances, but Mr. Burtonshaw decreeing that, in fact, he was pushing in on the back of Greenoff. Stoke's free kick. And John Marsh to take it. Towards Ritchie again, and Osgood was right back there, but Ritchie's going to get it on the ground once more, stopped by Mulligan. The long ball that looks for Garland. Cook. Waited there again for Garland, with Pejic after him, and down he goes again. Another free kick there to Chelsea. And it looks as though the book's coming out again. And indeed, the second Stoke player going in the book. Alan Bloor is already there, and Mike Pejic, who is walking away and being told to walk back again by George Eastham, his name going in as well. The second Stoke name in the book today, with only 20 minutes gone. So Garland all right again. Chelsea really dominating it at the moment, but Stoke looking so dangerous on the breakthroughs. Harris. Dempsey has gone up there and stayed up, but the sure hands of Banks for Stoke. Webb. Big ally Dempsey. Cook winning it in the air as well. Garland now. Stopped by Greenoff. And Webb. That was very dangerously close to an own goal. Hudson outside him in a lot of space. Osgood and Garland and Houseman in the middle. And Garland going in on it, but stopped by Bloor. Hudson. Teasing and tempting Pejic, and now Cook's doing the same on Bernard. Hudson. He'll get another chance, which really I don't suppose he deserved with a cross like that. Cook with his drag back again, and Hudson. And finally Bernard, very forthright again into touch. Hollins making his way that way. He's the nearest thing that Chelsea have got to a long throw. And Dempsey right up there in the hope of something dropping his way. Quite a good long throw there, and in fact Ritchie was right back there to nod it away. Dempsey getting it back again to Hollins though. Turned in first time, and this time Greenoff to get it away. Hudson. All the skills there from Dobing, and facing quite a fight, and in fact being penalised for a foul on Hollins. So the chance for Chelsea to turn another free kick into that Stoke penalty area. Hollins with it, taken quickly towards the near post. Pejic with no chances at all, behind for the corner. So Webb and Dempsey will stay up. Garland, the number 8, is another man to aim for. Osgood quite clearly is another. David Webb looking for it at the near post. But a deeper one towards Osgood, and just knocked off the top of his head by Banks. Harris now with a chance to cross it again. Nodded away, and Greenoff to pick it up. Foul by Osgood on Greenoff. And one or two of the Stoke players there beginning to mix it a little bit with Osgood. Conroy being stopped by Harris. Skipper Ron Harris. And Greenoff looks as though his shoulder is in a fair bit of trouble. And he has looked as lively coming forward as anybody in the Stoke side, in fact, Jimmy Greenoff. Dempsey spotting it, going for it, never taking his eye off it. Hudson. Cook now for Chelsea. Mulligan once more, a full-back who loves to attack, always willing on the overlap. And going well there for Chelsea, but he couldn't quite get it across because Pejic was right back with him. But it's Chelsea's corner, and Mulligan injured off the field, which in theory I suppose means that the trainer can go straight to him, but the game should not be held up. And Houseman with the corner towards David Webb, and beaten very well in the air by Smith. Cook to turn it back again, and Banks to save it. Not only to save it, but made it look so very easy too. And Mulligan is now beginning to hobble off on the far corner flag. Harris, Houseman, played a 1-2 off Bernard's leg there. Houseman, good close dribble there, but the 1-2 not likely to come off in those circumstances, but it's Osgood again for Chelsea. Harris, swept wide for Cook. Curling cross there, Banks fisting it away, taking no chances whatever with Garland in such close attendance. And now Easton to Pejic. Referee rightly allowing the advantage there, although Pejic was being pulled back by Charlie Cook. Hudson. Chelsea's throw. Paddy Mulligan, he's hobbled round there in front of the Royal box. Webb. Towards Osgood. Trying to nod it for Garland. Garland getting the shot in, a beautiful piece of goalkeeping by Banks. Had so little time to see it, but got down in a flash from Garland. Marsh, as we go into the last minute of the first half, and Greenough feeling that shoulder again, in fact on his haunches. Certainly need a lot of treatment, I would have thought, at half-time, which is shortly to come up, with Stoke leading by a goal to nil. Dobing trying to shake off Hudson, and Hudson shook him off fairly, says the referee. Cook. And Cook getting past Bernard as well, and still he goes on. Bernard coming back for some more, and still Cook goes on. And finally the kicking got a little too furious, and Bloor is penalised, and Chelsea get the free kick. But a very good run, a very brave run by Charlie Cook. He stumbled and he stumbled, but he kept possession and he kept going. Hollins taking it quickly. Osgood on the run towards the near post, and Banks goes down. The old 1-2 that nearly came off. And there's some pushing in the penalty area there between Osgood and Smith. And Osgood is going to have his name taken. In the last seconds of the first half, and the third player in this League Cup final goes into the book. Bloor and Pejic for Stoke, and now Osgood for Chelsea. So it looks as though he's going to be all right again, Dennis Smith, the man who's broken his leg 4 times in his playing career since a schoolboy. He's broken his nose twice as well. He's had a cartilage out, he's broken toes, he's broken a hand. And now Banks with a kick. Harris. And Smith diving in brilliantly there to stop that ball going through to Osgood. Houseman to Harris. Dobing nodding in the way. Garland struggling to get to it, but beaten by Bloor. Webb, everybody now bar Bonetti in the Stoke half of the field. Towards Garland, played back for Cook. The little chip there again towards Webb, and Osgood, and Webb won't get a shot in, will he? Osgood on the ground, and he's done it. Osgood, while he was on the ground, he's got the equaliser. The first goal Osgood's ever scored at Wembley, and it puts Chelsea right back in the game at 1-1 in the last seconds of the first half. Webb had a go, and finally it fell for Osgood on the ground to have a go, and he put it past Banks. So Banks, who'd made 3 brilliant saves in this first half. Chelsea had far more of it territorially. Banks 3 fine saves to keep Stoke's lead until the dying seconds of this first half. Harris, Houseman and Hudson. Green off. And that really will open it up now as Conroy takes it on for Stoke. To Greenoff. Ritchie at the far side. Bonetti's got to catch it, and he does. Cook to take it up now for Chelsea. Thrust and counter-thrust now at Wembley. With the game opened up again as the whistle goes for half-time. Goals by Terry Conroy after only 5 minutes, putting Stoke ahead. And that dramatic equaliser in the last seconds of the first half by Peter Osgood, his 29th goal of the season, making it 1-1 for Chelsea. Dave Sexton going off very relieved, the Chelsea manager, I would think. And now so much to play for as the players troop off and the band marches on. So the half-time score in this 1972 League Cup final is Chelsea 1, Stoke City 1, and we'll be back with you. Welcome back. Stoke now waiting to go, but Chelsea have brought on their substitute Tommy Baldwin. Paddy Mulligan has not come out for the second half. And it looks now as though Ron Harris will be playing in a right-back position, with Peter Houseman dropping back to fill the left-back position. Dempsey to get it away for Chelsea. Dobing. I know there's certainly a school of thought down Stamford Bridge Way that when his forward-playing days are over, Houseman could well turn in towards a full-back. But now it's Conroy with Houseman and Hollins facing him, but he finds Eastham. Dempsey. And that'll come for Bernard to hit one, but hopelessly wide. Cook now. Trying to dummy Dobing and beating Dobing and Eastham almost in a yard. Hollins with the cross towards Baldwin again, ducking underneath it. Smith away. Ritchie. Greenoff. Nearly came off, and it must have been a handball by David Webb, because the free kick has gone to Stoke. Norman Burtonshaw keeping up with the play absolutely brilliantly. Such a fit man. And Alan Bloor with the kick for Stoke. Conroy nodding it there towards Dobing, nodded back in again towards Ritchie. No, the whistle had gone. Ritchie was offside, and referee Burtonshaw was beautifully placed to see it. Absolutely no argument with the referee's decision there. He was right in line. Osgood. And now Hollins. Cross there towards Garland, and Bloor doing good work at the back for Stoke. Really is warming up now as Eastham takes it up for Stoke. With the Midland cries from behind that Chelsea goal. Conroy. Dobing and Marsh. The dark head of Ritchie is the one to aim for again in the middle, and he's going for it. Bonetti. Cook now. Oh, he sold a beautiful dummy there on Eastham. And now Hudson. And now Cook. And now Baldwin. And a corner. But a lovely flowing move again by Chelsea. Cook at the heart of it, Baldwin almost at the end of it. Hudson playing his part as well. So now the red and white stripes shirts are coming back in force. Garland up there at the near post. Dempsey too. Cook with the corner. Dempsey's header and over. Harris to David Webb. And now for Hudson. A lot of confidence there in that little bit of play by Hudson. It looks as though he might be running into trouble towards his own goal. Houseman a long one forward. Hollins. Turned in again, but Dennis Smith there for Stoke. Oh, Garland beating him and beating him well. Oh, a lot of good skill there by Garland, and it won't come across though for Baldwin because Alan Bloor is there for Stoke. Conroy for Stoke. Hudson for Chelsea. And now Webb. Great swashbuckling character, but that ball didn't find Baldwin. Mike Bernard. Greenoff. And now Marsh. Dobing. Swept wide there for Terry Conroy. Red shirts are waiting to pounce now. Conroy going past Webb. A delicate chip there, a deep one towards Ritchie. Nodded down again. And a good save. And Eastham. George Eastham. The old man has done it. And if that happens to be the winner, that really is a storybook come true. For George Eastham, after Benetti had brilliantly parried Greenoff's shot. Eastham there to round it off. So the Stoke fans are delighted with that. And the neutrals too, I would think, that George Eastham, the man whose career seemed to be over when he started last summer in South Africa, but with the new referees revolution, Tony Waddington said, it's the climate for you to come back and play again, George. And Eastham has had a brilliant season and now has put Stoke 2-1 ahead. Slight delay at the start again because John Marsh, the number 2, was looking for a bit of treatment off the field. But now Chelsea, a goal down again, have got to bring out all their famous cup fighting spirit once more. Marsh to nod it away. Houseman. And Chelsea's throw. Hollins will take a long throw. Dempsey again has gone up. Webb is making a late run, or a late jog rather, towards that Stoke penalty area. Banks with his fist. Harris to look to try and get away in there. Dempsey with a chance. Back across the goal. Cook. Cook desperately searching for the right sort of angle and losing out. And a goal kick to Stoke. And the Stoke fans who've poured down, some 30,000 of them from the Midlands. Ritchie right back. And now Pejic. Being challenged and challenged and challenged again by Hollins, who wants to get on with it. Cook now playing it into space for Hollins to chase again, and this time the uncompromising Bloor is across there. And it's going to be Chelsea's throw. 10 minutes now to go. Hollins to try a long one. Putting more pressure on the Stoke defence. Webb there, and Dempsey going in. And Webb with a chance to cross it again in the corner now to Chelsea. Stoke player down there, but off the field. No, it's not Terry Conroy. In fact, it's Mike Pejic, the number 3. Cook with the corner for Chelsea. And he's come back on the field. Webb right up there, nodding it down, and Banks under a lot of pressure to get a fist to that one, and in fact took something in the face. Bernard and Dobing having none of the nonsense, getting it across field to Marsh. Conroy laid off nicely for Eastham. Still those legs are pumping. Turned in now for Greenoff. Eastham again. And Conroy well offside. Took a knock in the face there when he bravely threw his fist out amongst the feet. Cook. To Hudson. And now to Houseman. Cross there towards Garland, but he missed with a header. Osgood with a chance, no! And again it wouldn't fall for Chelsea. And Stoke with a lot of determination getting it away. Hollins with a throw. Harris, the captain, to turn it back again. But turning it straight at Greenoff, not the best of things, but now Hollins again. Hudson hitting it either against Cook or Ritchie. Houseman turning it in again. Cook. Practically every Stoke player is back. Houseman. A little chip across again, and the number 12 Baldwin. Certainly, I think, would be a dangerous game for Stoke to concentrate quite as heavily on defence, because it's giving them no relief from pressure. But even Ritchie and Greenoff were hanging just outside their own penalty area. Banks, in fact, holding play up, because I think it must be Marsh on the other side wanting a bit of treatment, but he's off the field. Yes, there he is. And referee Burtonshaw saying, get on with it. Houseman with the header. Garland, who's covered a tremendous amount of ground for Chelsea. Harris. Dempsey. To Hudson. Garland nodding it back in again. Webb, who's gone right up to join the Chelsea attack now. Hollins fighting for every ball. Cook. Yes, keeping it in. The cross again. Baldwin jumping over it, and the corner for Chelsea. All the pressure now on Stoke. But Stoke defending grimly all the way. Just look at those players now ringed in that Stoke penalty area or just outside it. Cook with the corner for Chelsea. Dempsey right up there. Baldwin hoping to nod it on. And now Bernard to lead the break. Chased by Garland. 7 minutes now to go. Conroy. Eastham calling for it, but shaken off the ball by Harris. Perhaps the legs were just beginning to fail him, although no, not by the way Eastham's running back. Webb now trying to lay it on for Hudson. Chelsea in the last desperate throw now have thrown David Webb right up amongst their strikers. Cook. Played inside Greenoff. For Baldwin again. Can he keep his feet? He can, and Greenoff's in trouble and down. Played there for Hudson. And now for Baldwin. Jockeying there the Chelsea players to get a chance to get ahead to that ball. But it was John Marsh who nodded it behind for the corner, and Greenoff looks to be in trouble. Is it his shoulder? It looks as though it is. Injured in the first half. Of course, cup final stories are littered with brave acts of players who carry on, although very badly injured. And Greenoff, I would think, probably joins those ranks now, taking all the physical challenge on what must be a very sore shoulder indeed. But now Stoke some 5 minutes away. Cook now waiting to take the corner because Stoke want to bring on John Mahoney, their substitute. So Mahoney is on, and Greenoff at last going off. and I would think to a tremendous reception from the Stoke supporters. And Cook now with the corner. Osgood at the far side, getting a hit to it, and a wonderful save again by Banks. Getting behind it and holding it. Stoke supporters already beginning to whistle hopefully, but as Mahoney, the substitute, picks it on and finds Dobing, and now Conroy. There are still, in fact, just over 3 minutes to go, plus injury time. Conroy for Stoke. The cross again, and Eastham almost made it again. Eastham's stamina is fantastic because he was right up there, and there he is going in again on Hollins, and he'll still be charging back. But now Conroy in a lot of space down the left. Well, he's outstripped Harris there. The cross again, but fortunately for Chelsea, Dempsey was back. But the corner that's going to consume some more precious seconds for Chelsea. The corner to Stoke. It'll be Terry Conroy to take it. Two and a half minutes to go. Conroy with the corner for Stoke. And Ritchie at the far side, nodded off by Houseman. Bernard. And now Cook. Thought about playing it back to Bonetti, but then thought the more positive pass was the one that was on. Hollins to Baldwin. I bet he's been looking at his watch once or twice, Dave Sexton, knowing that the time is quickly running out for Chelsea now. Well, it certainly looked just at half-time when Chelsea had scored that equaliser, as though the pendulum might swing their way. And there's Garland now going in, and Banks saving it. Tremendous challenge by Banks. A dreadful back pass by Bernard. And Garland stretched out. Wonderful skills there by Banks, spotting so quickly that Garland was coming in so quickly. Well, there's nobody more relieved. I wonder what Terry Conroy would have said if that shot from Garland had gone in. Nobody more relieved than big Mike Bernard, the number 4. That really would have been a cup winner's medal thrown away. So Chelsea, when Gordon Banks is fit again, get the corner. Everybody, but everybody, bar Bonetti, is now up either in that Stoke penalty area or just outside it, because this really must be the last throw for Chelsea. There's the corner by Hudson, swooping in again. Banks with his feet, and the whistle had gone for a free kick to Stoke. Banks was impeded, and that could well be the last crisis over for Stoke. Dave Sexton looking a bit drawn now, a little bit strained. Harry Medhurst, the trainer, with him. And Gordon Banks, having lost 2 FA Cup finals with Leicester, now just a few seconds away from winning one with Stoke, and he's done it! Stoke have won, to the delight of their bench and their supporters, with their goals, the winning one coming from George Eastham, 35 years old, now getting the congratulations from Hollins, and congratulations all round on that Stoke bench, from Tony Waddington particularly, the man who has revitalised football in the Potteries. Stoke, 108 years of trying, and now at long, long last, they have succeeded. The journey down the motorway really must be so worthwhile. And against all the normal Wembley traditions, it's the losers, Chelsea, who are going up first to get their losers' medals. So the Stoke banners and the Stoke scarves making it red and white at one end, and the blue of Chelsea now going up, led by skipper Ron Harris, to collect their losers' medals. They won the FA Cup 2 years ago, the Cup Winners' Cup last year. You could say they've had their share of the spoils, but the hat-trick has been denied them by Stoke City this afternoon, as Peter Dobing, who 12 years ago went up those same steps to collect a loser's medal in the FA Cup final with Blackburn Rovers. Now the winners with Stoke City. A great old campaigner and a worthy prize towards the end of a great career. And that is going back, that cup, to the Potteries. The rest of the players getting their medals from Dr. Gustav Wiedeker, the president of the European Football Association. Mike Bernard, who very nearly lost it all. John Marsh, who had such a good game at full-back. There's the winner, George Easton. Mike Pedgick as well. Gordon Banks, another trophy for his sideboard. John Mahoney, the substitute, and Terry Conroy. Losers who never really know where to put themselves at a moment like this. Chelsea waiting impatiently for the national anthem and then to get away. Mike Pedgick. And now we shall begin the laps of honours, although Chelsea are going off without the lap of honour. Always the saddest side that there has to be a loser. And today those losers are Chelsea. And who can doubt that the Stoke supporters who've waited so long, so very long, for something to cheer of this magnitude, why shouldn't they enjoy every possible moment of it?
Well, Tony, you brought an honour to Stoke for 108 years. After 108 years, did you feel at any time in the game it wasn't on?
Oh, I thought it wasn't on before the game, after the game, during the game, and so on. Until the game was over, you know, Jim, that you've got to take it all the time and hope that things work out. But when you just said this thing about 100 and odd years, the oldest cliche in the game is it's a funny game, as you well know. But I think that it's almost become a fact that Stoke City haven't won anything in over 100 years, has nearly knocked even that one in the hat. What I hope will not happen from now on is that people will turn around and say, well, Stoke have only won the League Cup in 100 and odd years. Let's forget about 100 and odd years. I'm not that old, I hope. As far as we're concerned, it's a great day for us. I think it's a great day for football too, Jim, in lots of ways, because as an example, Mr. Mears has just come in and congratulated me, and what he said was, I think, sums it all up. He said, congratulations, Tony, it couldn't happen to a nicer club. And I think that's very important, because we have a relationship with a lot of people in the game, with nearly everybody in the game, and I think this what's happened today is good for football as well as good for Stoke City.
Fabulous, Brian. Unbelievable. It's proved a lot of people wrong as well, so we're glad about that.
Tell us about your goal.
Well, actually, I think it was Jimmy Greenoff's shot for goal, Brian, and it was deflected by David Webb, I think, onto my head. I just happened to stick my head out and went in. You know, and Peter Bonetti was way out of position, but, you know, I wouldn't blame him in any way.
Did Did you think it was going to go against you when Chelsea got that goal at a vital time just before half-time?
Obviously, as I said, they got a goal. Psychologically, it was a great moment for them, you know, just before half-time. And the second half, they came out, and they had their backs, you know, we had our backs to the wall, but we overcame the early pressure and then started to play our normal game.
And then, of course, George Eastham had his say. Terry, as a bloke who plays a bit in midfield yourself, what do you think of George Eastham?
Well, today he showed it. He never stopped running, Brian, did he? Fantastic for a man of 45, isn't he? He tells everybody he's 35, but really he's 45. But obviously, you know, he's a very greedy devil, Brian, because he wanted to score today to steal all the glory from the rest of us. So he's proved his point.
But you're going to have fun tonight.
Oh, obviously, and tomorrow, and Monday, and Tuesday.